Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. For everyone who watches this, who doesn't get to watch this live, it will be put up on the Mata Sahib Gauri Educational Trust account, and also it will go on YouTube, and the links will be on the homepage for Mata Sahib Gauri Educational Trust. A few people were asking if we missed the live, where can we get it? It'll be on the YouTube channel. So if you just type in Mata Sahib Gauri Educational Trust, everything gets uploaded to the YouTube channel. So we missed last week because it was the Shahidi Purab of Shri Guru Arjan Dev Ji, and so it was Kuljit Singh Ji, I think, who did a gatha explaining what led to Guru Arjan Dev Ji becoming a martyr and starting this path of martyrdom of Shahidiyya for the rest of the Panth to follow. And before that, we were on the 10th Vaar, the 10th chapter of Bhai Gurdaas Ji and their writings. Bhai Gurdaas Ji are the nephew of the third Guru, the cousin of Bibi Pani Ji, who are married to the fourth Guru, and they are the Mama Ji of the fifth Guru, Guru Arjan Dev Ji. And when Guru Granth Sahib Ji was written, they were the scribe, the one that physically wrote the Gurbani as Guru Arjan Dev Ji and the Bhagats spoke. And in their writings, the aim of their writings is to explain or to make things that are referred to in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, or concepts or history that is referred to in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, to take that to simplify it, or to explain it more, to describe those characters, those references, so that we can understand Guru Granth Sahib Ji easier. That's why Guru Arjan Dev Ji gave this writing, gave Bhai Gurdaas Ji's writings, these Vaar, specifically the title of the key to understanding Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Sorry, 1 second. So they gave him the title, the Kunji, Gurbani di Kunji, the key to understanding Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And so in this chapter, there's 40 chapters. We're on the 10th chapter. This is something that goes on locally in Leicester. So if you are, obviously don't know how it will resume at the moment, but if you are from Leicester, you can get in contact, and we can let you know as soon as we start meeting up physically again. I think at the moment we're doing Skype and stuff. And this is like a part of those discussions every Friday. And we've got to the 10th chapter of 40. And in this chapter, they list by Gurdaas Ji the different figures, the different characters that are referred to in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So we've already gone through Bhagat Dhruv Ji. We've talked about Bhagat Prahlad Ji. 3 was Raja Bal, a king called Raja Bal, and also a Bhagat called was it Raja as well? Yeah, Bhagat Ambrik. Bhagat Ambrik, who was a king as well, sorry. That was the last sort of episode, you could say, 2 weeks ago. This week, Bhai Gurdaas Ji talk about somebody called Raja Janak. Raja Janak is one specific person, but the title of Raja Janak is a title that was passed through many different kings. So similar to Farid, Sheikh Farid Ji, Shakarganj. Shakarganj is like the title of Bhagat Farid. So there's been many Farid Jis, and that title, Shakarganj or Farid Ji, is a title that is then passed on. So there's not just one of them, but there was one original one. And in the same way as Raja Partri, there was one Raja Partri, but the title passed on, and each of those were called Parthar. And similarly, Raja Janak, there have been many kings with that title, but we're talking about one specifically. So Raja Janak was part of the Videha dynasty, like a lineage of kings. He's also the father of Sita, the Sita we hear about in Ramayana, Ramchandra and Sita and Ravan, and that big epic about how evil was destroyed by a incarnation of Vishnu, an incarnation of Vaheguru, essentially. So this is Raja Janak. I'm going to go through some lines in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, because that's the whole point. We're trying to understand this character, to understand Gurbani better. And if I just read you some references from Guru Granth Sahib Ji, you see how they're referred to, in what kind of respect they're referred to. So here's one, Pauri, and this is in Rag Vadhans. Gurmukh Prahlad, so they talk about Bhagat Prahlad Ji first. We talked about them a few weeks ago. they refer to them as a Gurmukh, Jap Har Gat Pai. So they were reciting the name of Vaheguru, they became one with Vaheguru. And then also Gurmukh Janak, they talk about Raja Janak and describe him as a Gurmukh Har Naam Liv Lai. They too connected their concentration with the name of Vaheguru. If I carry on. So then later they talk about, so Raja Janak was a king, but he's known for his detachment. So whilst being a king, he's known for being very detached from his wealth, his materialistic things. One Saki, so I'll go through a few stories to describe that, and then we'll get into the Vaar of Bhai Gurdaas ji. One Saki where somebody called Ashtavakra, who was a guru, you could say, a sage, who wrote Ashtavakra Gita, who became the guru of Raja Janak. Once he was doing Katha, and Raja Janak was sitting with all of the other Brahmins, or all the other Pandits, listening to this Katha. And these are all Pandits that carry very little. They have very few belongings, just their dhoti, their loincloth, of which they'll have one that they're wearing, and then they'll have another one to change into. And all of these Brahmins are sitting there, they've renounced everything in their life. They don't have any physical possessions. And Raja Janak is sitting with them, and he owns, this is in his palace. He owns all of the palace. The land is all his. His kingdom stretches out for thousands and thousands of miles. And as everybody's listening to this katha, as everyone's listening to this katha, a little room in which the palace, part of the palace, catches fire. So part of the palace has been set on fire, or catches fire, and it sort of spreads through a few of the buildings of the palace. And these Brahmins would stay in the palace quarters. Raja Janak would have a small space where he would have his Brahmins, to live, perform their worships, perform the sort of the daily routines of the mandir, as these sort of kings would have. They would have like a small space in their palace where they would have like a mandir, for example, that they could visit. And the Brahmins had their space as well. And as soon as the word sort of spread that the palaces were on fire, one Brahman who wasn't listening to the katha ran in, and he told Raja Janak. And Raja Janak he was concentrating on the katha of his guru Ashtavakra. He was concentrating on that katha so much that he didn't even register what the Brahman was saying. But another Brahman who's sitting behind or beside Raja Janak heard him, and he said, "What?" He said, "The palaces are on fire, Rajaji. Your palace is on fire." The Brahmins, as it sort of is, someone hears it and says, "Oh, but the palace is on fire." And it sort of spread through that congregation that was listening to that katha of majority of Brahmins, and all of them got up and ran because of their loincloths. So the only belongings they had was the kapade, the outfit you could say that they were wearing, and one outfit that was in their sort of their residence, wherever they were staying. And they left because they feared that their only other means of wearing a kapara would set on fire, and they would have nothing to wear. Whereas Raja Janak, the king, whose palace it is, all of these riches, belong to Raja Janak. Every single thing he has, all of his family, all of his belongings are in this palace. All this wealth, he had no thought to that wealth, and he stayed concentrated, listening to that katha of his guru of Ashtavakra. So that's one Saki. Another one here as well, if I can find it, is when I think I found it. When Raja Janak would sit. It's just here. Yeah, when Raja Janak would sit on his throne, a common thing that a very common thing that he would do, a sort of a frequent thing that he would do, is he would sit, and as a king would, he would have his feet massaged by his maids, his servants. A common thing amongst those kings. And what he would do is one foot would be massaged by his maids, his servants, but the other foot he would have in, as it's described here, Pair Kadaha Janakada. In a Kadaha, you could say like a big cauldron, a big pot, of boiling water. So he'd put his one foot in this boiling water whilst the other one was being massaged by those maids. And the reason was that he. So this is what Bhai Gurdaas ji write in a different Vaar, in Vaar 12, Pauri 14. The reason was so that he would always remember that, you know, with pleasure in life comes pain. So he would never become so attached to that pleasure that he would, he would have to experience the lows of pain. In this sense, he was just in the middle. So to remain in the middle, this is a sort of one of these practices that he would do. So he was a king, but he was a very pious king, and he was a very spiritual king and a very detached king. That's the important thing. So there's some references. I won't go into so there's some other references, I'll go into them afterwards. So if we start the Pauri of Bhai Gurdaas ji, Pauri number 5 in chapter 10 out of 40, they talk about when Raja Janak leaves this world, when his life came to an end, and he started his journey to heaven, you could say. So remember, this is described as per his faith, as per his norms, and what is right and wrong according to his journey. Okay, so we're not, Bhai Gurdaas ji are just relaying the story to us. Okay, so we'll start this Vaar of Bhai Gurdaas ji. Vaheguru ji Bhagat Vadda Raja Janak hai Gurmukh Maya Vich Udasi. So they say Vadda Raja Janak hai. So Raja Janak, this great king, Bhagat Vadda, he is a great Bhagat, a great devotee, a great saint. Gurmukh, he is a Gurmukh. So that means he is somebody who has his face towards his guru. So mukh means your face. A gurmukh, you can break down that meaning in different ways. Somebody who has their face towards their guru. So somebody who doesn't have their face towards their guru, has turned their face from their guru figuratively, is called a vemukh. And then manmukh is another word for that as well. And also, so a gurmukh is also somebody who sees their guru as their mukhi. So mukh means like, it can mean face, it can mean mouth, face, and head, sort of in different terms. Mukhi means like the head of something. So, like the head of a committee, the head of a business, the head of an organization. They see the guru as their head. So the guru is the mukhi. There's nobody higher than the guru. Another translation of gurmukh is, mukh means mouth. Those gursikhs that obey whatever comes from the guru's mouth. Okay. So in this sense, referring to Vaheguru, he is somebody who's on the path to Vaheguru. He obeys what Vaheguru's methods of bhakti are. And Maya, in this illusion, Maya is a word for this illusion that is the world we see around us, which within that, Udasi, he is detached. So a few weeks ago we talked about like the example of a lotus flower and how the lotus flower is in the dirty water, but it's separate. It doesn't get dirty from that water. And in the same way, Raja Janak, he lives amongst, he's a king, he lives amongst every material vice there is, every sort of trap there is, but even then he is detached from all of this. Dev lok no challeya. He passed away. So the story is when he passes away. So when he passed away, Dev lok, he starts his challeya, he starts his journey to where? Dev lok, to the lok, the place of, or the realm of the Dev, the gods and goddesses, because he was a Bhagati, he did Bhagati his whole life. He performed devotional worship his whole life. So he started, after he died, he started his journey to, for want of a better word, his heaven. Gan Gandharv Sabha Sukhvasi, and all of the dances of the gods and goddesses, all of the performers, so all of the raggis, all of the kirtanis, you could say, of the gods and goddesses would sang his praises as he started this non-physical journey to the realm of his idol. Jampur Gaya Pukar Sun. But as he was journeying towards his heaven, he had a scream. He had like small sort of murmurs of screams. Villalavan, that's a sign, meaning crying. So he had this Gurulona, he had this crying. Jia of the people, Jia Nark Nivasi, who were residing within the Nark, within the hells. Jampur Gaya Pukar Sun. And so when he travels past this hell, he hears the cries from hell. And when he gets to Dharamraj, who is the person who is given the duty of weighing up what you did good and what you did bad, and if you go to heaven, if you go to hell, or the judge of your deeds, essentially, given this seva by Vaheguru. Dharamraj no Akhyon. So he spoke to Dharamraja. Dharamraja met him. Raja Janak embraced him because he's a Bhagat, he'd done good his whole life, and said, you're destined to go into your heaven. At that point, Raja Janak asked, what were these cries that I heard? And at that point, Dharamraja, the king of righteousness and the judger of all deeds and actions, he told him that is hell. That is where those people who have not remembered Vaheguru, those people who have done heinous crimes or have oppressed other people, have lived a life of sort of sin, that's where those people go. You are destined for heaven. But what does Raja Janak say to Dharamraj? Sabna di kar band khalasi. Free all. How can we free all of these beings, these souls that are trapped in this hell? Dharamraja replies, Kare benati Dharamraye, ha sevak Thakur Abhinasi. So Dharamraja, he humbly replied to him that Benti means he sort of pleaded with him. He supplicated in front of him that I am just ha means myself, sevak. I'm just a sevak. I'm just a servant of Thakur Abhinasi, the eternal master, that is Vaheguru. I'm just a servant. All I do is I stand here. People that need to go to heaven, I send them to heaven, judged upon their actions. People that need to go to hell, I send them to hell. I'm just a sevak. And what did Raja Janak do? Gehne Taryon ik now. He presented a form of wealth. Gehna means like a piece of jewelry. So in a situation where, for example, you needed to bribe somebody, and you were a king lost in some sort of trouble, you could pull out a small diamond or some sort of jewelry, and you could give that to somebody to get whatever you wanted done, completed. Which kind of jewelry, which kind of gehna, which kind of precious stone, precious thing did he put in front of Dharamraj? Ik now. He put the one name of Vaheguru, so that one. They say in other references, he gave one kadi of Simran. So one kadi is like we've sort of referred to as watch, but it was one, like it's a segment of time. So a kadi is usually like 24 minutes roughly, sort of give or take. So that's called a kadi. A kadi is 24 minutes. He put forward a kadi of ik now, of Simran, of that one Vaheguru. So that's what he gave. And he said to Dharamraj, remember Dharamraj has this is sort of non-physical, but they're describing it in a physical way so we can understand it. Dharamraj has these scales, and on the scales, you put your good actions, your bad actions, they weigh them, and that's how you go heaven and that's how you go hell, as per the Saki. What did Raja Janak said, what? How much of those prisoners in that hell can I free with just 24 minutes of Simran? He said, put that on the scales and see what I can get for that. And what Dharamraj did, he took that Simran and he placed it on the scales, and the scales sort of hit the bottom. And whatever he put on the other side, or whatever sort of calculation he did, the Simran would always outweigh the sins and the paap of those beings that were in those hells. So in the Sanatan sort of tradition, there are many different sort of hells. So all of these hells, they said there's 18 different classifications of hell. All of these 18 hells added on, and still they did not outweigh the Naam, the 24 minutes of Simran that Raja Janak had put on those scales. Papa Nal Kara Nirjasi, and Papa Nal, with the sins of those people, Kara Nirjasi, Tol, measure that against those sins. Pa Sang Papana Pujani, so the Pap, it couldn't reach the same weight as those as that Naam. Gurmukh Nao Atul Na Tulasi. So the Simran, the reciting of Naam that a Gurmukh does, when we described the Gurmukh previously, Atul, it is immeasurable. So Tul means to measure something, Tolna. And if you put an error in front of a word, it means something that can't be measured. So it means immeasurable. Na Tulasi, can never be measured against something. Okay. Meaning, what we want to take from this is, whatever. So if you think that was this is an example, and the thing to take from this is this is an example of all of the hells being compared to that 24 minutes of Simran that Raja Janak. Remember, Raja Janak was a Bhagat who was one with Vaheguru. So we're not trying to imitate Raja Janak. But what we're trying to take from this is that we sometimes think, how is it that I must have done all of these sins, and we might even accept that if we do Simran, if we worship Vaheguru, if we follow the path of Vaheguru and we meditate on Vaheguru, that we might accept, I accept this is the right path, but we're such sinners, we do so much bad. It's so difficult to not do bad things. How on earth do we even account for all of this? And there's a Pankti, a line from Gurbani from Guru Arjan Dev Ji as a response to a Brahman who asked them this sort of question. The Brahman asks Guru Arjan Dev Ji, in Jait Sri Ki Vaar, I understand that you say, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, that all of your sins can be washed away by Naam, by the reciting of the name of Vaheguru, meditating on God. But think about how many sins I must have done in all these previous lives. How can all of them be washed away? And then Guru Arjan Dev Ji recite Pankti, Idan ki to mu karna. So Idan means wood, ki to mu means to bring together, karna means a lot. So if you bring together a lot of wood, Pauri means a small amount, Pauri detim pahe. And if you give a small amount of pahe, of fire, it takes away all of that wood. So if you gather loads of logs, loads of wood, firewood, it could be a great pile. If you put even like a small matchstick and you set that on fire, it takes away all of that wood and it brings it down to a small pile of ashes. In that same way, all that wood represents the sins that we've committed, and the fire it represents the name of Vaheguru and the reciting of the Simran of Vaheguru that we should do, and that's how it can remove all of those sins that we've done. And we can draw parallels to this Saki here as well. Narkoh, so from that hell, chutte, it means to release. Jiya Jant, all of the beings, all of the people were released from that hell. Katti Galoh, and from their necks was cut the silk jam fasi, the noose. Silk means noose. Jam fasi of death. So the noose of death, this fancy. You probably had this word when people are hung. They refer to it as fancy. But this noose that was around their neck, this punishment you could say, or this torture, that was cut from their necks. All in a trade of that naam, that small amount of Simran from Raja Janak, albeit from a great Bhagat that was Raja Janak. And by Gurdaas you finished, Mukat Jugat Nava Ki Dasi. So Mukti, which is liberation, so there's different levels of liberation, and Jugat, the methods of reaching that liberation. Nava Di Dasi, sorry I might have read it wrong. Nava Di Dasi, or the Dasi means the servants, so the slaves of Nava, of the name of Vaheguru. So all of the methods that people might give you nowadays, everyone's got a different method of how to do Simran, how to reach these different levels of liberation. This is how there's 7 levels there's 8 levels of liberation, there's 10 types, there's this many that. All of those are the servants of the name of Vaheguru. So by reciting the name of Vaheguru, all of those things we can achieve through that. There's no other ways, there's no other method where we can fast track ourselves to a certain spiritual level. It is all through the name, the Simran of Vaheguru. Navadi Dasi, as Vaheguru Dasi right here. So that's Raja Janak. So a few things to take from this. Look at how doing the Simran of Vaheguru can remove so many paps, so many sins we might have done. Look at the praises of Raja Janak, who was a true Gurmukh, as we talked about in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, Gurmukh Janak, Haranam Liv Lai. Look at how selfless Raja Janak was. As a Gurmukh, he's become one with Vaheguru, but he still wants to help, he still wants to liberate others, as so many different Gurmukhs we see. So this Saki, the first time I heard this Saki was from Sant Ishar Singh Ji Rada Sahib Wale. So if you type in Sant Ishar Singh Ji, ISHER or ISHAR, you type that into YouTube, You see Sant Isha Singh Ji, who left this world, I think, in 1975, and they have a recording of this I think it's a different Saki of Raja Janak. And if you look at them, they were and are a completely liberated saint. But why did they come to this world? They come to this world to liberate others, and to, even Guru Sahib themselves. Guru Sahib is Vaheguru. Why does Vaheguru need to come to this world? Because Vaheguru are performing a paropkar, a selfless action upon us to help liberate us. So one other thing is, Raja Janak is held in such high regard that in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, the Bhatts, who are some poets who praise the Gurus, they actually liken Guru Sahibs to Raja Janak. They're not saying that they're similar, we're not equivocating them, but they're saying that Guru Sahib, you have those qualities of Raja Janak, in that Guru Sahib has everything physical around them, everything materialistic around them, but they're free from it all. So you can think about, if somebody compares Guru Sahib to Raja Janak, and he's in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, you can only think how great Raja Janak must have been for their name to be used as a form of praise of Guru Sahib. So in the praise of Guru Angad Dev Ji, one of the Bhatts say, Tu ta Janak Raja Avatar, that you are like, so remember they're just saying you are like the incarnation of Raja Janak, because you are detached from everything, like we talked about. If I give another example, that was Guru Angad Dev Ji. And another reference of how humble Raja Janak was, here in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, they say, Guru Sahib say, Janak Janak Baithe Singhasan. So Raja Janak would sit on his Singhasan, on his throne. But whenever saints would travel by his land and come into the palace, he would come from his throne, come down and actually matha tek. He would wipe the dust from the saints, the feet of those saints that passed through. No muni tur le lava go. So when the 9 munis, sort of the famous nine munis, 9 sages, would pass through his kingdom, he would humbly bow in front of him, even though he was a king. So they're describing Guru Arjan Dev Ji, the 5th Guru. So we said the 2nd Guru, the 5th Guru, Janak Raj Bhartaya Satyug Alina. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji, it's like you brought Satyug, the age of truth, into Kaljug, and your kingdom is like the kingdom of Raja Janak. Your reign, your rule is like the rule of Raja Janak, in that you are pious, you have everything, all of the wealth, Harmandir Sahib, everything around it, but you yourself are detached from it all. And there's also one, here it is, of Guru Ramdas Ji. Iho Janak Raj Guru Ramdas Tuji hi Ban Ave. So in the same way they say this rule, like the rule of Raja Janak, Guru Ramdas Ji, Tuji hi Ban Ave. Only you can have this type of a rule, where you have everything materialistic, but you're free from it. You are completely connected with that one Vaheguru, because they were the avatar of Vaheguru. So that was Raja Janak. Such high praise that he is used in the praise of Guru Sahib themselves, 3 Gurus there. Next week, it will be Raja Hari Chand Te Tara Rani. So Raja Hari Chand, Sakhi about his detachment as well, and his tests that he went through, and Tara Rani as well, which we'll go through next week. Like I say, every week we'll go through these characters, these figures from history that are referred to in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So we'll sort of back it up with where they're referred to in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, so that when we now read Gurbani and the name Raja Janak comes up, we know, is that a positive, negative? Was this somebody who we should try and be like, not try and be like? Now from this sort of live, from this recording, we can know a bit more from the writings of Bhai Gurdaas Ji. The whole purpose being to make things that appear in Guru Granth Sahib Ji easier to understand. So this recording will go up on I think the Instagram, IGTV of Mata Sahib Gaji Educational Trust, their Instagram, and also it will go onto their YouTube as well. So I think you have to type for this week. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody who listened. And any questions, any comments, you can DM the account. You can DM myself as well. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।